What's going on, guys? Antonio here. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up for me, and let's get into it. All right, so Shannon Sharpe just dropped his interview with Monique. He taped it a few days ago because he put the picture on his Instagram, and Monique had posted it as well. They took some photos together, and it was supposed to, it was going, letting everybody know it was going to drop today, and it did. And it looks like it's doing numbers, and I'm starting to see. I was just on Instagram. A lot of the blogs are taking the clips. That's when you know you got a good one, because just like the Katt Williams interview, he dropped it, and then all like Shade Room, Boss Up, they all started taking clips and posting. Then you start seeing the memes and all this. Now I gotta be honest, it's not the Katt Williams interview, but it was deep, and it was really, really good. I enjoyed it. I'm going to tell you something. You see here, now, like I said, this is in real time. Notice it's going, this is the thing. You notice the numbers just moved on my screen. I am live on YouTube right now. These are the actual numbers. That's why the numbers keep moving and jumping. I was watching this, they taped it, they loaded it up and did a premiere. When I came on the stream, notice it's jumping again. When I came on the stream, there were over 60,000 people watching live. By the time I got to the end of the interview, over 160,000 people were watching live. That's a fact. And it's like I said, it's still going, because he just finished, and I'm like, I could not believe it. But I want to talk about a few things. Like I said, really enjoyed the interview. I encourage you to go to Club ShayShay's YouTube channel and watch the full thing. It's incredible. I'm not going to play any audio because, I'm not trying to get flagged and none of that kind of stuff. Okay. First thing, one of the first things Monique said was she started talking about Katt Williams. And she said that Katt Williams was speaking facts. That, and she said the problem is, especially in the black community, we start saying something that's truth and it's labeled as hate. So, and that's exactly what a lot of people said about Katt. He's all Katt's bitter, he's a hater. And she addressed several of the people that Katt Williams addressed. Now she talked about D.L. Hughley, but if you watch the Club ShayShay interview with Katt Williams, he said, I will tolerate no D.L. Hughley slander on this interview. He said that. Now, Monique had a problem with D.L. So she did have some D.L. Hughley slander. But yeah, she talked about Tyler Perry. And she talked about now this was a couple years ago when all that Will Packer stuff, she had done the movie Almost. She talked about it. And I mean, she really didn't sugarcoat nothing. She went into a lot of depth. She talked about, what happened in her fallout with Oprah and Tyler Perry. She was working with Will Packer on the film Almost Christmas, and they started saying, oh, she's difficult and she's bitter and hard to work with. And then everybody dropped her, and she stopped being able to get jobs in films in Hollywood. Right. Because she talked about that was one of the things that happened between her and Lee Daniels, and that a lot of people don't know that she was originally supposed to play Cookie on Empire, which Lee Daniels was executive producer on. He had offered her the part, and then certain people went in the background, knocked that out, and said, "Oh no, we don't want Monique. She's difficult." And then they gave the part to Taraji P. Henson, which Monique said Taraji was great on Empire, which everybody agrees with. Taraji P. Henson, that it was like the stars lined up for her. So that was the right thing. But that was supposed to be her part. And she also said the part that Lee Daniels had, that other film, The Butler. Remember, Monique won an Oscar for Precious, which was Lee Daniels' film. But then he followed up with The Butler. He offered that part to Monique. He had just won an Oscar. He just had, written a film that she won an Oscar. So of course he wants to work with her again, right? And she talked about Oprah. She started recognizing that Oprah was trying to destroy her career. Oprah put in a call and said that she wanted that part. And so Lee had to let her know, well, Oprah's going to play the party. I know I offered it to you, but Oprah's going to play. And, you know, she fell out with Lee. Now, they squashed it because I think it was about 2 years ago. There's a film on Netflix. I wish I could remember the name, but they worked together again after all the Netflix. That's when Monique had her Netflix comedy special, and she did this thing with Lee Daniels. So they've worked together again. And she even said in this interview that everybody that's wronged her, Tyler Perry apologized to her in private, but then in public he wouldn't speak on it. And that's why she mentioned because there was a phone call which she played for Shannon Sharpe. There's a transgender YouTuber, T.S. Madison, that Monique spoke about, and I had no idea who this person was. And she mentioned T.S. Madison, and I typed in like T.S. Madison Monique, and she played. T.S. Madison had the leaked phone call that Monique and her husband had recorded to Tyler Perry, and you hear Tyler Perry admitting that he had spread a false rumor about her, but obviously he would not make a public statement about it, right? So that's what she was talking about. She was talking about, in private, you're saying, I love your work and, I respect you and blah, blah, blah. But in public, he's doing other things and admitting that he had told other people that she was difficult. And that she said that what Tyler Perry and Oprah did has cost her tens of millions of dollars, ruining her reputation. She talked about Kevin Hart. Now, I really need the Kevin Hart stuff was surprising. Now, obviously, Katt Williams went in on Kevin. I like Kevin. What Monique said about Kevin really, because it didn't seem like because Katt really seemed like he don't like Katt. Katt seemed like he really don't like Kevin, right? But Monique didn't say, she actually told, they were in Soul Plane. Monique and Kevin Hart, what was that, like almost, 25 years ago when Soul Plane came out? Okay, they were in Soul Plane together. They was cool, right? Monique talked about, when she was struggling, she couldn't get no job. She wasn't able to pay some of her bills. She talked about Kevin Hart dipped in his pocket and gave her money. He cut checks to help her cover her expenses. And she said she paid him back, right? She's paid all that money back. She said she paid it back with interest, right? But she said that Kevin Hart got on the phone with her. Hey, my company, he said, we got your back. Don't worry about all the stuff with Tyler and Oprah. Don't worry about that stuff. We got your back. And I want to do something with you. I want to produce your movies. I want to produce a comedy special for you. And that's the thing that Monique, it really was disappointing hearing this story. So she was really excited. Kevin Hart is like, okay, I'm going to put my power behind you, right? So she said her and her husband, what's his name, Sydney, they let the studio know, hey, Kevin Hart's got us. We want to green light this. We want to put this together, right? They were excited. They were like, oh, Kevin Hart's going to produce? Great. They called Kevin Hart's people, and she named, I think his name is Don something. I can't remember his name. She named him in the Club ShayShay interview. And she said, this white manager of Kevin Hart's, he told the studios that Kevin was not interested in working with me. They hit Monique back. Hey, Kevin's people just said he don't want to work with you. He don't want to be associated with you. She's like, that's not true. I just spoke to Kevin. I know that's not true. She picks up the phone. She calls Kevin Hart. Yo, this white man that's working with you, he done told the studios you don't want to be working with me. And Kevin seems surprised. Oh my God, no, that's a miscommunication. I'm going to fix that. Hold on. She said that she hung up the phone with Kevin Hart, and that was over 2 years ago. She said she never spoke to Kevin Hart again. So I thought that was very interesting. So that part, that kind of surprised me because it seemed like Kevin was trying to have her back. And then, so does that mean what Katt said is true? That he's got a handler? He's being put in the position of a gatekeeper. And when he stepped out of line and tried to go against what they were doing, somebody had to let him know, we're not doing business with Monique. And so that shut everything down. So I thought that was interesting. The last thing I will say on this, because she said so much, and like I said, as you can see from when I started the video, notice that the views have jumped up over to 500,000. It's over 515,000, and it's still climbing. It's only been, you know what I'm saying? It's only been up for a few hours. And like I said, I watched the whole thing. I'm gonna go back and watch it again because she was dropping gems. She was spitting bars. So I'm like, wow, Monique was really on. She was really giving a lot of game. So if you're trying to listen about when she's explaining about her career, she talked about how she ended up, playing Countess Vaughn's mom. She showed up, made a couple appearances on Monique, and then they had already set up the Parkers, the spinoff, and the whole deal. And I mean, just hearing her story was so inspirational. I really enjoyed listening to it. But I'm gonna close with this. Shannon Sharpe, you'll probably never hear this, brother. I'm worried about you, and I'm saying this in all sincerity, Shannon. You are Icarus flying too close to the sun. Okay? I'm telling you, Shannon, be very careful. Because the stories about Oprah Winfrey, they've been going out for over 2 decades. That if, Oprah has this image to the public about, being this friendly mother figure and the whole deal, and then you hear the stuff behind the scenes where she takes out people that, are going against her interests. They'll mess your career up. Something will come out. There'll be a scandal or something like that. I'm telling you, the fact, because Monique kept saying, I don't know, I almost was feeling like she was leading and she was trying to get him to actually be honest and say, okay, if this person did this to you, what would you think? Because she talked about Oprah when Oprah had her brother and her mother on and different things, because she talked about the fact, and my mom used to say this, what was it? She'd always say the white man's ice is always colder. She would say that. She was like, some people in our community feel like the white man's ice is always colder. And what I mean by that is you could have 2 stores, like one store be on one side of the street and the other store is on the opposite side of the street. But one store is a black-owned store and the other store is a white-owned store. And for a lot of black people, they will go to the white business before they'll go to a black. And I always, if you've heard me when I've done podcasts and streaming and stuff, I always talk about supporting black business. I'm a black business owner, so obviously I want to, and I want to support other black business owners. But we do have a lot of people in our community that do feel like if it ain't white, it ain't right. And so one thing Monique told to Shannon was when the interview that Oprah Winfrey did with her family, which was against her wishes, or let me correct that. Oprah called her. She did give Monique a heads up, say, hey, your brother's reached out. He wants to do this interview. He wants to apologize for, the things that he did to you and all this. He wants to admit this and all this, but if you don't want me to have him on, I won't do the interview. Now, she did say Oprah gave her that out and that she greenlit it and said, yes. She's like, look, maybe my brother has changed and I would not stop you from doing the interview, so go ahead and do it. But she said Oprah left out the fact that her mother was going to be in the interview. Oprah didn't mention that, and I think her sister was in it as well. And Oprah left that little tidbit out. She thought, when Oprah explained it to her, it was just going to be her brother on like a one-on-one type situation. And she said her mother got on there and lied and all this kind of stuff, right? Now, what she did, what I didn't know is that originally her family contacted Barbara Walters first. So they called Barbara Walters to do the interview before they called Oprah. And Barbara called Monique and she was like, no, I feel like that would be a scummy thing to do. So I don't want to do the interview with you. So at that point, they called Oprah and Oprah was with it. But like I said, she acknowledged that Oprah called her, but left out a few key points. And that's why she gave her blessing. Because she said if she had known that her mother was going to get on there and lie and stuff, she would have told Oprah, please don't do the interview. But she felt like that. And then, like I said, she mentioned Oprah shutting down parts or calling and deciding that she would rather do the part, because she said there was I think it was Tyler Perry doing a Richard Pryor biopic, and she was supposed to play Richard Pryor's grandmother, and then Oprah said, no, I want to play. This is after she had already had the part. There's so much, like I said, there's so many things. But like I said, I want to say this to Shannon Sharpe, brother, be careful, because I feel like I already saw certain things start to pop up after the Katt Williams interview. After the Katt Williams interview, there were some blog posts and some YouTube videos, and it was going around with Shannon Sharpe. There was some images of Shannon Sharpe, and he was at the Lakers game, and there was a gentleman sitting next to him that was part of the LGBTQ community. And a lot of these blog posts and YouTubers were insinuating that Shannon was in a relationship with this man. And that's the thing, right? Because even Monique talked about this on the Club ShayShay interview, that the knock on Shannon is that he don't like black women, he likes white women. That's and I've seen some of the TMZ photos. Shannon was always, Shannon likes the snow bunnies. He goes out with all these white girls, right? But then after the Katt Williams thing, they said, oh, he's Shannon is, he's undercover brother. He don't really like women at all, right? They put you with the white women to turn the black women against you. And then they say that you like men to turn the straight black men against you. So they're trying to take his main audiences away from him. And then that will cripple him, and that way he won't be able to have his platform like he used to. So that's why you're starting to see certain things come out. Now, the gay man that was with Shannon's not hiding who this guy is. This guy works for Shannon. He's his stylist. He's been working with him for years, going back to when Shannon was on Undisputed with Skip Bayless. So this guy is his stylist. Shannon's tagged him and promoted him on his Instagram. If you follow Shannon on Instagram, he's not hiding this guy. But I thought it was very interesting after the Katt Williams interview that these stories started to come out. And like I said, now I like that Monique put it out there, about, oh, you just like the white girls. And then they talked about the fact that all his children's mothers were black women, not white women, so yes, he's dated white women, but he doesn't discriminate. He dates it. But I just thought that was interesting, because Monique went in, she didn't bite her tongue. She did her thing, but I thought this was a great interview. But yeah, I'm worried about Shannon, because I feel like people are coming. As these interviews get more traction, something is coming. I really feel like that, and I hate to hear that. I hate to see that, but I know something's going to come, because people will get in their feelings about the certain things that Shannon is allowing other guests to say on his platform. But that's it. Like I said, great interview with Monique. Give me a follow: Facebook, Instagram. I'm on X. I'm on Threads, all at Ikari Press. IkariPress.com will take you to my comic book series brand, Way of the Gun. And the link, of course, to that is in the description. Thank you guys for watching. I'm out.